Is it interesting for you what karma is? Of course. Okay, then I'll tell you. Okay, I'll show you something that no one probably showed you before. And outside of these walls, no one would be able to show you this without plagiarism. So, as Baloo Bear from Jungle Book said, here's a running deer. There is a human body that is covered by the energy shell. That is with a speed c, like a wave is moving in the space environment in a certain way, which is called road of life. This configuration leaves the trace behind it, just like inversion trace behind the airplane. It is a body of memory which is left behind every person. That is where we start acquaintance with any person. We analyze his or her body of memory, 3 minutes at most. You can look at the 70 years of life with all the adventures this person had. This is what is called soul by the believers. It is like this. It is long and like spindle, and there is so-called body of linear time. Soul, as a worm, is moving on surface of a spheroid. This is a thin body of the next level. Spheroid is called spirit by believers. And the surface of this spheroid has bumps and holes on it. And the diameter of this linear body of time, in any point of time, in any chronal point of time, showed the reserve of life forces of this person in this time. That is why, when we take off the external aging that looks like this line of life, we can do it, and we can see the adventures of a person at any given specific time. When controlling stresses were born, who had influence on him or her, who are his or her parents, what were the events and the dates, how he passed this period of time. So we start working with these bodies. We work with them. We measure all of these bodies. Their characteristics are measurable. We are metrologists in this case. We are very precise in this case. So all of these bumps and holes have a defining influence on the life of every human. Every person has their own spirit. And by the vertical leaf of the brain activity, a person can read the bumps and holes and turns them into events of personal life. If you remember the old vinyl recorders, there was a needle sliding on the vinyl record, and through the vibration, it would read the information of the sound recording, and then the amplifier turned these vibrations into the sound. So a person using his or her vertical leaf of a brain activity reads these bumps and holes, and then human, as an amplifier, turns these bumps and holes into the events of his or her personal life. People call these bumps and holes karma or destiny. We just read. Every person has their own recording. Every person has their own goal of spirit realization. And not taking it into account is merely impossible now. Because when a person begins to follow only society laws and not the laws of his or her own nature, every spirit has its own nature. Then a person immediately stops following the terms of his success in life, because he stops to read his individual way by his brain activity leaf, and it is obscure situation for him there, the situation where he directs his brain. he or she changed their value system and perceives it differently. And secondly, his forehead, his brain, is not oriented towards his gene, his matrix of health, and the time of conception. When it is oriented towards the alien gene, then the health state of person is getting worse. That is why a person becomes unsuccessful and unhealthy. He's not following the way of realization of his spirit. So when I was telling you about your invisible master, the one who gives you everything on the platter, I meant the spirit. And here is one of our beloved topics, religion. The verse from the Bible: honor your father and mother. Honor your father and mother. What is the correct way to write it? A text for honor students. Good laugh. What is the difference? Father and mother with capital letter, father and mother with regular letter. What is the right answer? Now it is written in small letters since 1956. Before 56, it was written with a capital letter. Honor your father, your spirit, and your mother, your nature. That's the way it was written before 56. After 1956, honor your genetic father and mother. That's the situation. So here are little tricks that allow you to know the canon of the religion and show you what the goal of life of a person is. Can you tell me what the purpose of life is? A simple question. Who knows?